Well, we're back to this again, and so I'll just totally skip showing you the numbers this morning. I've been updating you every day, every afternoon, at night before I leave. Again today, even running the whole system, it was at 1200 microns. Could not pull below that, and it made no difference whether I isolated the ball valves or not. It made no difference whether I switched from one air handler to the next air handler and isolated the ball valves. It made no difference whether I went to one line and a solid line copper, even though I can put my blue vac micron meter at the end of this copper line, and I got 26 microns right here. Even though switching over to this NAVAC pump, I was getting down to 0.7 microns at the pump, but yet my micron gauge was at the other end of the line and it couldn't pull down no more than 1200 microns. It didn't matter if I connected to the high and low side, no matter where I connected on the system. It did not matter whether I isolated off all the ball valves and then I pulled upstairs at the condensing unit and I only tested my pipes only. I still only got 1200 to 1400 microns. So I'm about to fill this system with the adder, and I'm gonna not give up, but right now I filled this system up with refrigerant just in the line set. So I'm flushing the system with refrigerant right now. So I added refrigerant down the liquid line, and I'm going through a leak check. It's at, I think, 195 psi. I'm even going saturating the evaporator coils. I'm getting 0 everywhere. Remember, I have 76 braze points throughout this whole system, and I just went over all of them and I get 0. I'm trying to let it saturate in the coils to see if I could pick up anything in the coils, because I'm going in to drain out right into the, there's no air movement. This is a sealed tight room, so I'm not getting any breeze. If there's going to be saturation, there's going to be saturation. So basically now I'm sweeping the system with refrigerant, and so now I'm going to recover out all the refrigerant from the furthest end. I went to the roof to put in refrigerant because I did not want to risk leaking any refrigerant down here in the building. I just used a bunch of my old tanks that I only have like 1 or 2 ounces in. I have like 2 or 3 dozen tanks from this month. I just let them stack up. I just pulled them out of my garage and completely filled this line set with refrigerant from waste cylinders that I have to recover and empty out. So I used them like that. And now I'm going to recover refrigerant out of the low line at the furthest part. So there is the condensing units up there, and I'm going to come down and go to the furthest air handler and recover refrigerant at the furthest point. So I'm basically sweeping refrigerant through the high side line and sucking it out the low side line from the farthest end of the opposite end of the system as a sweep. So old school method, my grandfather's day, and my dad did when he was young, when you didn't have good vacuum pumps that went down to microns, and used to sweep the system with refrigerant in and out 3 times. That was the method. And of course, not EPA approved, but we also used R12 to cool off our beer and our shoes on hot summer days. And I was responsible for that too when I was a kid. I loved to squirt the can of R12 on bugs and freeze them. I've wasted plenty of our can 12s. They were only 39 cents a can when I was a kid, and I'd grab them from my dad and go out in the backyard and freeze bugs. So let's see what happens with this after I recover it, and I'm going to put the adder in it. The electricians are working right now to get power to my unit. I can't start it up until the electricians finish. So catch you guys, I think, after startup.